Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here with a Raw review for January 14th, 2019. For the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here with a Raw review for January 14th, 2019. For the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here with a Raw review for January. All right. So if you guys are in the live chat, don't forget to interact. You guys can tell me everything that you thought of the show yourselves. And I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the show. This was a jam-packed show with a lot of different thoughts and everything else going on in there. I'm going to write hi to the live chat. Hey, what's going on, J3X Show? Good to have you in here. Hopefully we get some people in here from Twitter. Doing our best right now. But interesting to hear what you guys thought on the show for this Raw show. Lots of thoughts on this one. Let's get into it. So we had Raw open up with Braun Strowman talking about Brock Lesnar, and he's going to destroy him, yada, yada, yada. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. And Braun Strowman ends up being interrupted by Baron Corbin. After Corbin talks trash to him, and he runs to the back as usual because everyone's a chicken heel in WWE, and he runs and hides, and basically Braun's back there looking for him. Where is he? Where did he go? And Elias comes out with his guitar and basically snitches via singing and snitches to where he went. In the process, though, Baron Corbin destroyed one of the Singh brothers and an old man limo driver. Like, what kind of babyface does this? How dare he? And Braun ends up finding Corbin. Corbin runs away. He destroys the limo, though, trying to get inside of it, busting windows, mirrors off the front of it, basically destroying everything. Corbin ends up running away after he ripped the door handle or the whole door off the back of the limo. And Corbin runs away. Vince shows up. Vince doesn't say too much, and we get a weird commercial break. But once we come back from the break, Vince fines Braun $100,000 and takes him out of the Royal Rumble Universal title match. Interesting. Afterwards, after Vince takes him out of it and Braun loses everything, he ends up turning over the entire limousine. Very crazy. Hey, what's going on, Original Biggie? What's happening, my man? We have Josh Burton in here. Didn't watch, but what's good? Jayhawk Reactions. Yo, what's happening, my brother? Spent my time booking Fire Pro and watching college hoops instead of Raw. Hey, what shirt you got on? Oh, I'm always rocking the EPW shirt. Actually, I just got a gift from one of the EPW members. Shout out to Derek Shelton. Gave me a custom EPW hat. Had to rock it tonight on the show. Very cool of him to do that. And what did you guys think of this Braun Strowman opening segment? I want to hear from people who are in the chat right now. I'm going to, actually, I forgot to grab my water that's behind me here. But what did you guys think of it? Was it a good thing to you that Braun Strowman got pulled out of the Universal title match? Or, nah, it wasn't the best thing? I'll wait for those comments to come in. I'll move forward here. Jayhawk's reaction says it was a decent show. I think it was okay for what we've been getting, but still, that 3 hours wears on me. Like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but that 3 hour Raw is just way too long, man. Way too long. J3X Show once again is reiterating he did not watch. Josh Burton, hey Conrad, would you mind sending prayers to fellow member Jerry Stroud? He had a small stroke today. Yeah, I saw that, Josh, in your Everything College basketball group. Very sad. Please give your prayers to Jerry Stroud. He did have a small stroke today. Very sad to hear that happen. Casey Classic 7, what's up? What's going on, Casey Classic? How you been, brother? So Afterwards, we get into our first match of the evening. We had a tag team match. It had Rowdy Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Um, Decent match, very back and forth. The action in the ring didn't really excite me. It was the after the match, which I thought was the best part of this. Um, we end up seeing them win by Sasha Banks putting the bank statement on Tamina, and she is forced to tap out. And we had a good interaction, I thought, after the match. Now, see, I have been complaining about the Ronda Rousey promos where she uses like eviscerates and all those WWE like words. So much better this week to an extent. There was something I didn't like about it too, but she got in there, she interacted with Sasha, and it was interesting. They did the kind of like Rowdy Ronda Rousey, excuse me, ran her mouth, did a little too much, and pissed Sasha Banks off. And Sasha kind of called her out about it, and she said, "You said I was the best last week, so you're gonna have to find out." And I didn't like that Ronda was chasing her up the ramp, trying to be the baby face to work things out. F that, man. Like, if you're going to fight someone, let them fight. I don't care if they're good guy, bad guy, bad guy. Don't make anybody look weak. If it's time to step up, it's time to step up. But I thought the interaction after that match was great. Let me see what the chat is saying. I was setting up episode 55 of my universe mode. What's going on, Original Biggie? I see everybody showing some love to each other in the chat. I appreciate that, and that's the beautiful part about this wrestling community. So overall, though, I thought the interaction with Banks and Rousey was good, and it makes me look forward to what we are going to potentially get for future like confrontations between these two leading up to the Royal Rumble, which is very soon. We get to our second match, which was the Revival versus Kalisto and Grand Metalik. Okay tag match. You could tell that they're very much so playing off of the feud between both of these guys. With Kalisto and Grand Metalik, the Lucha House Party were one of those teams that were burning the Revival, beating them beforehand, and the Revival in the beginning of the match called them out for not saying anything to the referees about whoever's foot was on the underneath or on the bottom rope last week, and they didn't say anything. So this week, turnabout is fair play. When Grand Metalik is getting pinned, he puts his foot on the rope, and Dash Wilder pushes his foot off the rope, and the Revival pick up another win. It looks like they're trying to get some sympathy for the Revival. At least that's what I thought last week, to turn them babyface. Not so much now. It looks like the Revival may maintain their heel persona, or they're going to leave them as tweeners. I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this, but good to see the Revival pick up the victory here. I was very happy for them. All right. Now, let's get into the next match. What's going on, everybody entering in? If you guys got stuff to say about the show, put it in the live chat and I will read it. I do have my eyes on it right now, so make sure you fill in. We just finished up with the Revival versus Kalisto and Grand Metalik. Then we get into this whole controversy of who's going to face Brock Lesnar now that Vince McMahon has taken away his title shot. Very, very different. 89 ESR, what's happening, homie? Thank you for coming in here. We have Vince McMahon enters the scene, and he goes out to say, "I will let everybody know in the ring." And before Vince can even speak, John Cena's music is hitting. He comes out there, and John Cena is talking about when everybody left you, who has been here for you. And he talked about Stone Cold leaving, The Rock, Brock Lesnar wanting to go play football. John Cena asked for an opportunity, and he gave it to him. And he basically, this promo was what I called "Give Me a Chance." They had some weird little bromance moments with smiles at each other. I don't know what this was, but he said, "Give me a chance." He wanted to be the Universal Champion again. Okay. Drew McIntyre shows up, and he tries to put the kibosh on that right away. And, okay, very cool for Drew McIntyre to show up. Happy to see that. What else did we get here? After he came out, he said the same promo basically from last week, and then we had Baron Corbin come out saying how, well, last week your boy this week your boy Braun Strowman attacked me, and I'm not the kind of guy to get lawyers involved. Yeah. The only way you'll get a title shot is by saying that. So Baron Corbin ends up getting in the mix of this as well, saying he wants to fight Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. Okay. And then last but not least, Finn Balor makes his way out there claiming that he would like to be the next champion as well. So Vince McMahon decides after they all attack each other to make a fatal four-way match. Very interesting once again. So we cut through all of this stuff, and there's something I'm going to bring up at the end about all of these breaks where I'm getting like lost a little bit. Breaks were very odd tonight. Very odd. So we get to like a commercial break after that in the middle of all the mayhem, and then we get Jinder Mahal and Vince McMahon backstage, and Jinder Mahal's basically saying how he deserves a title shot. And how are we going to get there? Well, oh, hold on here. We got, I don't know what the payoff for the Revival is from Josh Burton. I guess the tag title win, but it feels flat, right? Yeah, Josh, I can 100% agree with that. We got hashtag Forever the Revival. Oh, geez, we're going back to Cena again. Yeah, original Biggie. That's what they had brought up. Yeah, so the Revival, I don't know, dude. They got to do something different with them. I don't know how to book it. Maybe that's a question we could pose to the Everything Pro Wrestling group and ask, how would you book the Revival to become tag team champions right now? Because I'd be very interested to hear what people think of how to do that. But back to this Jinder Mahal Vince McMahon segment. So Jinder Mahal and Vince McMahon are backstage, and Mahal basically says that as a former champion, he wants a spot in this match. He wants it. He needs it very badly. Vince says, okay, Jinder, I'll give you the opportunity. You can pick one person that's in that fatal four-way match that I just made. If you beat them, you take their spot and you're in. Jinder thinks about it for a second, and he picks Finn Balor. After that, Jinder Mahal's ready for his match, and he says that he's going to fight Finn Balor tonight, and once he beats him, he'll take his spot. Yeah. We get to our third match of the night. We had the Riot Squad. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention something earlier. EC3 debuted in a very, like, awkward way. When people were backstage trying to, like, convince Vince to let them in the match, you had the B team back there, Rhino and Heath Slater, Kurt Hawkins, No Way Jose, Jerry the King Lawler. People were coming out the woodwork for that segment, and EC3 was backstage and didn't say a word. And that was shown during the Revival and Lucha House Party match. Very, very weird. Yes, Jayhawk's reactions. The breaks were very awkward. I'm going to get into it towards the end, too. Oh, yes, no Lara. We'll get into that as well, that piece of the segment. That's later on, too. But I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of my favorite parts of tonight. All right. So we have our third match. We have the Riot Squad versus Bayley, Natalya, and Nikki Cross. And this all came from a segment backstage that was kind of short where the two friends of Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey were trying to like basically stick up for their friends. So Bayley and Natalya looked like they were about to fight, and the Riot Squad's right there to start trouble. And they said, if you can find a third partner, we'll meet you out there tonight. So this match is made. It happens pretty quickly. And they end up facing Bayley, Natalya, and Nikki Cross makes her main roster debut on Monday Night Raw. Very cool to see Nikki Cross out there. I thought that she portrayed the exact same character she's been portraying on NXT, and it seemed fun. Another subtle announcement that I don't think a lot of people noticed was that all of those recent call-ups, they said they have not been put on specific shows yet. They are just showing up for right now, and there's not a final destination for them quite yet, is how it was kind of explained. So for now, Nikki Cross is not surely a Raw superstar. She could be on SmackDown tomorrow. We don't know. But she ended up tagging with them. What an amazing match. Nikki Cross basically helped set up the victory, but she let Bayley hit the elbow drop for the win. 1, 2, 3, and I believe Liv Morgan was the one who got pinned. And Bayley, Natalya, and Nikki Cross got the win in what I thought was a decent six-man tag match. But we've seen these tag matches so frequently on Raw that you're kind of like, okay, cool. Yeah, J3X show. This was a great debut. Yes, original Biggie said I heard about it. What a way to debut. I liked it for Nikki Cross. Just think that if you weren't so dedicated to putting a good product out for all of us, you could have skipped Raw and watched that fun Syracuse Duke game. Yeah, I hear you, Josh. I saw Syracuse picked up the dub. Trust me, I was watching on my phone a little bit. I'm so over six-man tags. I mentioned this last week, but every week we see a six-man tag match. Yeah, you did bring that up on the last show, J3X show. Josh Burton, seriously, keep doing the work you've been doing. you know I'm in your corner. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Make sure you guys check out Josh Burton too. Everything College Basketball. He's got a great podcast out. Just do a Google search and you'll find all of the ways to listen to that. I was a guest this past week too. Thank you for having me on. So let's get back to this Monday Night Raw show, shall we? Appreciate everyone in the chat. If you are just joining, I see we have the most people watching right now. If you guys are just joining, feel free to put something inside of the chat and I will read it. If you guys have any thoughts on anything pro wrestling, we could talk about it. But try to keep it to Monday Night Raw right now. And we're getting towards the closing part of the show anyway. Our next match was Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor. Excuse me there. Jinder Mahal versus Finn Balor in what was a quick match. I mean, did anyone really believe Jinder Mahal was going to win? Let's go on a little miniature rant right here. Jinder Mahal sucks as far as being in the main event picture. He was horrible on SmackDown Live, in my opinion. One of the reasons when SmackDown... He's like the main reason why SmackDown Live wasn't enjoyable. And I had to watch AJ Styles walk around with the United States Championship belt because Jinder Mahal was the champion. And they acted like no one could beat him. Anywho, glad to see Finn Balor win here. We can all see the story that they're setting up throughout the night, in my opinion. It seems like a layup of an answer. If you give me a follow on Twitter, just like it says above my head here, give me a follow at EPW Show on Twitter. And I basically was stating how this was going to go. As soon as I saw who the 4 people were in the match, you could tell who was getting the shot. So Finn Balor ends up picking up the victory, so he's still in the Fatal 4-Way match. Now we get to one of the 2 main events that were announced, basically. So we have the IC title triple threat match. We have the champion, Dean Ambrose, as you can see in the picture here to my, well, you're right probably as you're looking at the screen. Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Very good triple threat match. They picked up towards the end because in the beginning parts there were some, like, it was kind of quiet and people were trying to start "This is awesome" chants. I hate that when people are trying to force that stuff, but they did what they had to do and not too bad. It started picking up towards the end though. Rollins had the match won at one point with a Falcon Arrow, and Lio Rush comes in to make the save. Very smart. Finally, a manager who says, my man's not in the match right now. Dean Ambrose looks like he's out. I'm going to save the match. Rollins does the chase with Lio Rush. Very interesting. And Dean Ambrose tried to take advantage a couple times. Wasn't really working for him. And in the end, Dean Ambrose ended up eating a spear from Bobby Lashley. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Lashley is the new Intercontinental Champion. And I gotta hear everybody's thoughts on this. I am not the biggest Bobby Lashley fan. Did he need this win more than Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, in your opinion? Let's go to the live chat, though, because they've been talking here for a little bit. J3X, guess what? There's going to be a 6-man tag tomorrow. Laugh out loud, that doesn't surprise me, Biggie. You were a phenomenal guest on the show. For real, you did a great job. Keep up the great work. I'm in your corner as well. Thank you very much, Peyton. Jayhawk's reaction. I agree on the whole Mahal as champion thing. Thank you, dude. I know some people like Jinder Mahal, and you know what? He's not a bad wrestler. It's just he needs to be in the spot he deserves to be in. That's just my main thing with the whole ordeal with it. But Bobby Lashley as the Intercontinental Champion, man. I don't know what to even say or do about that. Very different, very different. Shout out to new subscribers too. I see we got what is his name? Darker Knight 007 and Sprucely. Thank you for subscribing. And shout out to Omega Luke Wrestling Podcast, Juke Ellington. I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. Let's get back into the show here. Yeah, Bobby Lashley. Guys, here's the weird thing. I have never been the biggest Bobby Lashley fan. And, I'm sorry, the almighty Bobby Lashley. Thank you for correcting me on that, J3X show. Nobody likes that dude. And someone in there just put a trash emoji. Thank you. I don't know why you have Ambrose drop the title this early for me either. Very different, but I at the same point though, if you're Dean Ambrose, the guy has been Intercontinental champ, moved up to the WWE title picture, and then dropped back down to Intercontinental. Dean Ambrose is a main eventer in my mind. Period. Same thing with Seth. These guys are ready. Lashley is someone who I feel can be like the middle in between kind of guy where you can drop him up. You could push him up if you need to. You could also drop him down. That's the perfect spot for him at this point. Yeah, Lashley, IC champ. Let's get to the next segment. We had a guy bringing a latte or a coffee to Alexa Bliss backstage. First off, it was in a bedazzled coffee mug, so you could clearly tell that maybe she sent him to do that. I don't know. But then they tried to show a little Alexa Bliss with no shirt on, trying to catch people off guard. And I'm sure that was for the fellas who watched the show. Nobody's gonna complain about that. At the same token, but it still felt very random. And why did you feel the need to do that? The guy gets kicked out, and they announce the next segment is going to be Bliss and Heyman, and they're going to be talking. This was his first defense, right? Dean Ambrose? No. He's had a couple title defenses. He defended against Apollo Crews, I think 2 or 3 times against Rollins, and he may have had one more in there as well. Dean was trying to defend it, but he's basically been the only person defending his belt every week. So we get into this Alexa Bliss, Paul Heyman segment, and basically Heyman's putting over everyone in the Fatal 4-Way, doing what Heyman does. But the most important announcement came in the very beginning of this, which was Alexa Bliss announces and reveals the women tag team titles. And let me see if I can pull up a picture of these real quick and show you guys them as we talk about them. But the women's tag team titles are set to be crowning an inaugural champion at the Elimination Chamber, and it's been revealed that it'll be 3 Raw superstars versus not superstars, 3 Raw tag teams for women and 3 SmackDown tag teams. And from there, we will figure out how to crown the champ at the Elimination Chamber. So it's going to happen in the chamber, which seems different in my mind. But we'll see how it works out here. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys this on the picture. But if you get a second, just... yeah, you're going to have to look up these women tag titles. I'll describe them to you, though, because I'm looking right at them. So you get they have a white strap, gold backing, and then there's like a silver going around them. It says Women's Tag Team Champions. I think the belts look nice, me personally. I'm a fan of the look of them. As you guys know, I am a belt mark, so I am happy with how these championship belts look. And I think they have done a really good job showing them off. I almost forgot about Crews, my bad. Love the design, not sold on the white straps just yet. I hear you, J3X Show. I think they're trying to put the straps on, though, so people know which division or brand it belongs to, kind of. But then again, you have the IC title with the white strap, too. Not sure. Maybe the mid belts can stay like that. I don't know. It's starting to get real colorful, though, with all the straps and different looking belts. They have way too many belts, I feel, in WWE at this point. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but hopefully they can book these women tag team titles better. I think they need to just have one set of tag champs on each show then, if you're going to do it like this, too. There's 3 different tag team champions. Why? Anyway. So this segment, so Paul Heyman's putting everybody over in the Fatal 4-Way. Finn Balor, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and John Cena. They're going through everything, and then who shows up out of nowhere but Big Otis Dozer. Otis just comes out yelling random stuff. Some people on Twitter liked it, some people hated it. I don't know what they were doing with Heavy Machinery here. I'll post them in the group for people who have not seen them. Yeah, I posted them in there, Connor. So I posted a close-up version of them and a far-away version. I just can't pull up the picture on here because it's such a high quality that it won't let me bring it over. Or if I do try to, actually, let me see if I can. I'm gonna try this one more time. But Big Otis showed up. What did you guys think of Heavy Machinery's like debut? Did it feel awkward to you the way they did it? Because some people didn't like it. I thought it was kind of weird not knowing them and just randomly having them show up and just saying like, "Oh, yeah, it's okay." Tucky. I don't know. If you didn't understand their personality, I think that you would kind of wonder about it. All right, let me see if I can put these bad boys on here. And you guys let me know in the chat if you can see this. As it tries to load this. Yeah, still not showing up. Darn it. I really wanted to show you guys that. It's not working for me. It's just too high of a quality to add in for the image to be shown. I'll have to figure that out with this new program I've been using. So, yeah. Do you wish to remove? Yes. Okay. So, look them up, though. I have them on my... They're within my last, like, 2 or 3 tweets. You can check them out on Twitter, at EPW Show. Let's get into the main event, guys. Number 1 contender for the Royal Rumble, Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin versus Drew McIntyre versus John Cena. But before we get into that, let's talk about these weird-ass commercial breaks that we saw throughout the show. Like, I have a big problem with this, dude. Like, I don't understand why these commercial breaks were broken up the way they were. The guys announcing the match, commercial break. Drew McIntyre looks like he's about to win the match, commercial break. Just in the worst freaking spots, dude. Unnecessary. Ruined the pace of the action, in my opinion. I know they were trying to be... It felt like tonight was a night of let's be spontaneous and let's have Alexa Bliss be partially nude and let's just have random stuff happen in some of the segments. Let's have EC3 walking around in backstage. We even had a segment with Dana Brooke, Mickie James, and Lacey Evans talking. But they were just shown backstage. They just tried to have random stuff in there for no reason. And in my opinion, that shit's stupid. Just me. But come on, dude. Anyway, weird-ass commercial breaks. The match ends with everybody doing the finishers out of nowhere, trying to get the win. And Drew McIntyre ends up getting DDT'd. He falls out of the ring. And John Cena ends up eating the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. Finn Balor is finally getting his match against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. Interesting to see Finn Balor being chosen for this spot. There have been rumblings for the past couple weeks that WWE is interested in giving Finn Balor a renewed push. Does he win back his Universal title that he never lost? And maybe this will reset all the bad karma that's followed with that belt since then. Can Finn Balor beat Brock Lesnar? That's the main question going into this Royal Rumble season as we speak. It'd be interesting to hear what you guys think of that real quick before we get ready to wrap this show up and get out of here. Good to see Finn win, though, man. Very, very good. Happy with that. I think I saw some news, too, that Jerry the King Lawler signed a new contract. I wanted to let you guys know about that. All right, Jerry the King Lawler staying with WWE. He has signed a new contract with the company. There was speculation he could go to AEW. Yeah, of course. But it looks like they gave him a little bit more money. So good for the King. Good for him to get his money. Jerry the King Lawler getting a little more bread here. Sorry, I just got a message on Twitter and that took my attention away. Let's see here. That's cool, to be honest. Brock's going to win, Jayhawk Reaction says. ABC from Original Biggie. Anyone but Cena. Ooh, that's harsh. I would love to see Balor beat Brock, but I don't see it happening. I agree, guys. I would like to see Finn win, but I don't think they're ready to have Finn main event WrestleMania yet. You put so much time and effort into Brock. I feel like they're gonna ride out with Lesnar all the way till the end. But the question is, who's the person to slay the beast? Who's gonna be the first one to dethrone Brock Lesnar and give him a slice of humble pie? I heard they want Balor versus Taker at Mania, so he'll most likely look strong in defeat at the Rumble. Rob, I like that. I like that thought. Um, yeah, very much enjoyable, guys. I greatly appreciate everyone who took the time out to check out this show. I don't want to blab all night long about this. I should be back tomorrow with another SmackDown Live review. Hopefully, SmackDown Live keeps me a little bit more entertained than this show did. Like I said, Raw wasn't super horrible. I just think it's the fatigue. I mean, some of the stuff is head scratching, though, too, that I had brought up. The breaks, some of the things that the characters were doing, but good in-ring action for some of the matches. Just expect better out of WWE still. I'm still not feeling that change that they brought up a couple weeks ago. I still feel WWE needs to do something more for the audience to engage us in the show. Bring up some different things. Like, what's going to happen with Dean Ambrose now? What's his character doing? Hopefully they find a new role for him and they continue to expand upon his character, because I feel like he just stopped expanding the character after a week or two. We know where Rollins is heading. Bobby Lashley, what's going on with him in the mid-card division? We got lots of questions that need to be answered. Who are the 3 tag teams for the women for SmackDown and Raw that will compete in the Chamber? We got a whole month to build that up now. And I think that should be the main event of the Chamber, potentially. Lots of things happening. J3X Show. I don't think the Universal Championship match will main event Mania. I'm hoping that Becky versus Ronda does. It looks like it'll be Charlotte versus Becky versus Ronda at Mania, though. Yes, J3X Show. I agree with that. My point was that WWE will try to portray this as a main event. And I don't know if Finn Balor being in the title match is what they want, due to the fact that you'd have to beat Brock Lesnar. And Brock is someone who they've put a lot of money into. And I think they're going to try to take advantage of that money. Like I said, I think, me personally, I think that Brock Lesnar is going to hang on to that title at this point. But who knows? Maybe they could convince me by next week that Finn Balor's the guy and he could win this. I appreciate everybody who joined the live stream. Once again, guys, if you did watch this, do me a favor. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, a like on the video. Greatly helps with everybody. If you're watching this after the fact and you couldn't be in the live stream, no problem. I appreciate you watching it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with what you thought of Monday Night Raw, good, bad, or ugly. And also, do me a favor and make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. We got a couple more subscriptions. We're well on our way to that 500 mark. And thank you guys so much for watching the Everything Pro Wrestling Show. We are out. Peace.